Hey guys, welcome to another video. Now today I've got an awesome one for you because I have finally discovered how to speed up a WordPress Elementor website. This has been the bane of my life for so long, and I'm sure it has been for many of yours as well. So I've recently managed to speed up my website so it ranks really high on GTmetrix and Google PageSpeed score, which as an SEO agency is so important for us. PageSpeed is one of the Google ranking factors, so we find it really important to make sure that we can build websites as fast as possible, and to be honest, it's just good for user experience as well. Now for a long time, I was unable to achieve high speeds with my WordPress website. There's quite a few things happening with it. There's subtle animations and things happening on page load, which I think has caused the site to bloat and slow down, especially because we use Elementor. Now, Elementor is notorious for being recognized as slow. So it's kind of one of those trade-offs. If you're using WordPress and Elementor, you would expect your website to be slow, but no more. Now I'm going to talk you through this on the screen. Before I do so, please do remember to hit subscribe, hit the bell notification too, and you'll be notified of future releases. And let me know down in the comments, guys, whether you're still struggling with your page speed and getting your page or your website to load fast within Google PageSpeed or GTmetrix if you are using WordPress and Elementor. Now I've got my screen recording, we're just going to jump on it right now. So as you can see here, this was before installing this plugin, and I'm going to show you what this plugin is very, very shortly. But you can see here that the desktop version of the website was loading on a GTmetrix score of D. The performance was less than 50%, and the largest content paint was 9.3 seconds, which is terrible. That's so bad. Now, looking at Google PageSpeed on mobile, it's down below 50, 43. Which is so low. Like Google's mobile first, it's so important to make sure that that's loading fast. So we had to fix this. And then here we've got desktop loading at 84. Okay, so just a quick caveat. These scores I've just pulled with this plugin uninstalled. Now previously I was relying on other third-party plugins, and I was also relying on Cloudflare as a CDN. So that actually improved the site speed, but this is kind of it at its rawest form. So this would be kind of the worst that it would be, which is, if you're not doing anything to optimize your page speed at all on WordPress, this is probably a good reflection of what that would look like. So it's pretty terrible. Now, I just want to show you where the site is now at. Okay, so you've just seen that it's absolutely terrible in its rawest form. With this plugin installed, you can see that our GTmetrix score is A, okay? Everything is green. Our largest content paint is 1.6 seconds. Which is just insane. Like, I'm so happy with that. And if we take a look at the Google side as well, you can see that on mobile we've got a score of 81, which is really good for mobile. Like, honestly guys, that's really good. And if we look at desktop, you can see that it's up at 98, right? Which is insane. So we are so happy with these scores. As I said, from an SEO agency, it's really important for us to put websites out there that are loading fast, ours included. So let's have a look at what this plugin is. This plugin is called Nitro Pack. Okay, you may have heard of it, you may have not. I know that I certainly heard of it quite a few months ago. After going through hours of trawling YouTube content, reading blogs, forums, just looking online to see how I can speed my website up, in so many instances we had to rely on multiple plugins that would cache our website and rely on a CDN as well. Okay. So we're having to already bloat the site in order to speed it up, which isn't ideal. And with that said, we still couldn't achieve the type of speeds that I've just shown you and we're able to achieve now. So this is Nitro Pack. Okay, Nitro Pack is actually a paid for plugin. And when I discovered it, I was a little bit annoyed really, because I felt like the only solution that we could use was something that we had to pay for, and it didn't appear very cheap. But I come across someone else's YouTube video online. I learned a little bit more about Nitro Pack. And one thing that stood out is if you have a relatively small website, which many of you probably do, I know I do myself, you get X amount of views. I think it's 5,000 page views a month for free. Okay, and if you're getting 5,000 page views or more, then you're not necessarily a small website. And I'd recommend you look at the paid options. But if you're small like me, you're not going to exceed that quota. Okay, so I installed it and I want to check it out. And as you can already see, the results are insane. So let's just have a look at the pricing. So you get monthly and yearly options here, and you can see that it recommends the growth option for $51 a month. Okay, so if you are a relatively large business, $51 a month to have an insanely fast site is actually not too expensive. But what we're relying on here is the free version. Okay, so you can use it on one website, you get 5,000 monthly page views, and you get 1 GB monthly of CDN bandwidth. Okay, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute on my site after having it loaded for more than a month. So what you need to do is go and get started with Nitro Pack, sign up, add your business information, and it's going to give you the plugin to download. You then have to install that plugin into WordPress and just hook it up. It is honestly relatively straightforward. And once you're in, you're going to get given a dashboard of all your information, such as the cache hit ratio. So I'm at 98%, so I'm almost at the end of my quota. How many pages are optimized? So we've got 53 pages on the website. The cache size and when its last purge was. All right, so you've got your plan information on the right hand side as well, and you can see that I'm only halfway through my page views quota, but I've nearly hit my bandwidth. But luckily this resets tomorrow. All right, so we've had quite a bit of traffic come through the site this month. We've been pushing a lot of sort of organic traffic from a couple of blogs and YouTube content, so that has increased slightly, but I'm still confident that we can continue moving forward with this free non-paid for option, and I'm sure you guys can as well. Like, this plugin is insanely easy to install. Like, once it has asked you to download it to your downloads folder or wherever, you would just come to your plugins library, click add new, click upload plugin, and you would just choose your file and you would upload it here. All right. Once Nitro Pack is installed, you're going to see a new Nitro Pack dashboard. Okay, and this is where you can go and tell Nitro Pack how heavily you want it to optimize your website. Okay, so we've got here a couple of optimization modes. We've got standard, medium, strong, ludicrous, and manual. All right, so ludicrous is like the highest end. That's the most insane. That's ludicrous, and that's where you're going to get the best results. Okay, but what I recommend you do is play around with each of these settings. So for example, if you switch it to strong, you then want to go and check out whether your website loads correctly. So once you have your level selected, go and check out your website, scroll through and see if there's any anomalies or anything that just doesn't load the way that it should do. For the most part, here, everything is loading absolutely fine. So I didn't have any trouble with this, but you never know how it's going to render your site once it's got all of these, caching elements embedded in it. So check it out on Ludicrous. If it's broken, taper it back a bit and then see if you can go through and fix anything. But for the most part, this plugin is insane. All right. So I'm going to swap that back to Ludicrous. Now we've got a couple of settings over on the right hand side, and you can see I'm currently in safe mode. So putting this into safe mode is going to stop the caching from taking place. So that's how I've been able to show you what this would look like if the caching wasn't working. So the results that I've showed you here with the D and the incredibly poor mobile page speed score, now I've managed to show you that because I've placed this in safe mode. So what you do is turn that off, make sure that that is off. You want to put cache warm-up on, and you also want to have your HTML compression on as well. Okay, so that's going to compress all of your HTML and just make sure that your HTML file and the content is minimized and is not causing any bloat. And that's it, guys. Like that's how easy it is to now optimize your website for page speed. Now, before I go, what this will do is it does add a little badge to your website, which just to give you an example, I'll just pop it up on screen. I've only noticed this on mobile. I have not noticed it on desktop. I've searched in incognito mode and I can't see it, but I can see it on mobile. And to be honest, it's so small that I think that's a fair trade-off for getting insane page speeds for no cost. Right, so the badge will disappear if you do opt to pay for the paid versions of Nitro Pack, but for the free one, a small price to pay is just having a small badge, which, to be honest, I think is absolutely fine. Now, hopefully you found this valuable and you're able to now deliver high-speed websites in WordPress and Elementor. If you have found this valuable, please do give it a thumbs up. I'd really, really appreciate that. Also, hit subscribe, hit the bell notification too, and you're going to be notified of future releases. So there's an end screen coming up with more content that's going to be really useful for you. So please do go and check it out, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.